coming to life. Even with all the like AI shortcuts I took, it still took an incredibly long amount of time. Let me take you down the rabbit hole of trying to figure out how to do 2D animation with absolutely no experience. It's a trip, dude. It's a trip. I saw one of your pieces of art, the Space Boy. You want to talk about it a little bit?
Space Boy, yeah. He was a creation from some reference I found on the internet. I think it was Jack Teagle. I saw some illustration from Jack Teagle and I was like, that's freaking sick. And so then in my own decrepit art style, I drew it. I drew it in my own way, of course. And I love making these drawings that this is like a really common theme with all my drawings. It's usually just like a person standing and then they like say one little sentence.
Well, it's a one-panel comic. I love the image of the Space Boy. I mean,
Thanks.
Ever since I saw it like for the first time, something stuck out about it. I was like, something special about it. And then you went on with the art style from making just like a single image, like a single page, to like a comic.
Yeah, like a little, it's like basically a 2-panel, but maybe 3-panel because like the title slate kind of plays into the rest of it. But yeah, it's like a little 3-panel comic that I made with a different guy on Discord. He had also seen the Space Boy and was like, I'd love to collaborate with you. And I was like, absolutely. It feels like the theme of this whole thing, this Space Boy guy, which still has yet to be named, is that I make it and then people see it and they want to do something with it.
It's cool. It's a cool thing.
It's like a fun collaboration, so it feels like this next step.
Yeah. Well, the next step for me was turning the comic into a cartoon.
Yeah.
I was like, man, there's so much, like, just the art style is really fun. The little stories that you told through the comics were really fun. So I was like, man, how cool would it be to just see that man walk across the screen for the first time? Like, how special that would be. So kind of my first step, with Garrett's permission, so nobody freak out. So I threw that sucker into Chat GPT. So I threw in his drawing and was like, hey, could you take this character and make it like a transparent PNG? Because my thought process was, I'll just like cut out his arms and then it'll be really easy to like position him around. And so it gave me kind of this first image and I was like, this is actually going to be like kind of hard because his arms are like the same way they were in like the drawing. I was like, maybe I'll just have him like T-posed. So then threw it into ChatGPT again. I was like, hey, can you make me like a sprite sheet? So it made this like cursed looking sprite sheet where it's like he has like 2 pairs of hands and stuff. And so from here I went down like a tutorial rabbit hole. I was like, okay, how do people actually 2D animate stuff with the tools that I know how to use? And so there was kind of like 2 different routes to go down. There's Duick Angela, and then there's Rubber Hose 3. And so I went and kind of looked at them both. And Duick Angela's free. Don't want to spend any money. You just want to start 2D animating. Pick Duick Angela. The learning curve is, I think, a little steeper from what I saw. There's like a lot more tools. It's like way more customizable.
It's pretty complex.
So it looks really complex and it was really scary. And I was like, well, I just kind of want to see if this is possible, if I can even 2D animate. And so I saw one for Rubber Hose. And Rubber Hose, it's a paid tool. I think it's like $70, but out of the box, a little simpler to use. And so I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do Rubber Hose. So when I had first created my character, you have to like create parent chains. So you have to like separate the hand from the forearm, from the shoulder, from the chest, from the head. So you just have to make like friggin' like 15 layers or whatever for your character. Connect them all together in After Effects, and then from there you apply the plugin. For joints, you need like perfect circles. There's like more elegant ways to do what I did, but if you look at the character, he has these obvious joints. We're just gonna see the joints for now. I was like, that's gonna be part of the character design. And so I had labored over creating this rig. So now I had this special dude in After Effects that I could grab like a selector and I could move his whole body and you could see him like flow around. And I was like, he's coming to life. I was so foolish. I was like, the hardest part's done. I was like, the character rig's definitely the hardest part. It's not the hardest part. That's probably the easiest part. Honestly, it's like really fun. It's really fun to like make your character and start like putting all the bits and bobs together. After I saw you have a character rig, I was like, okay, so how do I animate him? And it seems like most people, once you have like a character rig, you want to do like a walk cycle. Any cartoon, you see a character like walking, usually they have like a looping animation. It's like more economical. And that took a while because I was like, man, I need momentum. I was looking at like animation books and stuff to like figure out. I was like, where does his head need to bob? Where do his feet need to be? So with the character rig and the walk cycle, the world was my oyster. I could really do whatever. Next was kind of like consulting Garrett's comics. Where does this guy belong? Took Garrett's art style, threw it into Mr. GPT again, and use ChatGPT with like Garrett's information to be like, okay, reference this comic and make me something that looks like this style, essentially. And so these are a ton of the different frames of me trying to figure out, I want them to be in a cockpit. I want the cockpit to be like the first thing, like the living room of our set, like the place he's gonna spend a lot of time, a lot of iterating. And what's funny too is because I already have the character rig, but he's at like a 3/4 angle. So I was like, gonna need a background that like matches the character rig since I already have it. Went through a bunch of different iterations of the cockpit, and then I was like, well, it'd be really fun to start out with like an exterior where we see like the spaceship or whatever. And so these are kind of all the different variations of like what I went through. They don't look, I feel like, drastically different from each other. Obviously there's like some differences, but there's like a pretty homogenized like style from your references. And so I needed to come up with a story, because you can have all the assets in the world, but if you have a crappy story, it's gonna be a crappy thing. And I just wanted something simple, because for me, we've talked about this, I have a finish is better than perfect mentality. And I was like, I could spend years trying to perfect a 30-second piece. I was like, I want a 30-second piece. I don't want to do anything too ambitious. The space boy is sitting in the chair. A fly comes around. He walks over, slaps the fly. Blood just goes everywhere. So that's a theme in the comics. There's a lot of blood, a lot of viscera. The next step was, okay, I need like a fly. So again, threw it into Sora to find a fly image I liked, and then figuring out how I wanted to animate it. So I cut out its wings to make like a little looping animation. The next step was, it's kind of like a chicken or the egg scenario. So now I have the fly, I have the space boy. It's like, okay, which one do I want to animate first? And do I animate the whole action? Do I only animate it for a certain amount of time? And then I start animating the other character to like interact with it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what like real animators do, because at first I animated the whole like fly's path, and it was like way too complicated. I was like, this is gonna be so hard. I'm gonna have the character moving here, swan at the fly here, trying to do this. And so I would animate, the fly's gonna land over here, the guy's gonna stand up, he's gonna walk over, he's gonna try hitting the fly, it's gonna fly somewhere else. So I kind of just did it in parts. So I do his part first, I do the fly's part, and just kind of flip-flopped between that. So if anybody has like a better workflow, would love to hear it. And kind of like the big problem with this was I had him walk all the way to the right hand of the screen, but then the fly flew back over to the left hand. So I needed the character to switch perspectives and face from right to left instead of left to right, which he was traditionally facing. And I went down another tutorial rabbit hole. Please tell me there's a way I can just like flip all the controllers around. Is there any way I can do this without having to completely remake like the model? And there's not. Long story short, there's not. Like I tried using like a transform effect to flip it, and then essentially it like messes up all the controllers. So all the controllers are in a different spot, and so I just had to make another model. So I made another model that faces right to left. But with all the information I had learned previous, took a lot less time to make the second model. I'd finished the animation. I had gotten all the kind of things I wanted to do. So the next step was adding sauce, brother. Was adding sauce. So
a little bit of pepper.
Okay, there's expressions. I want him to be expressive. So again, I throw his face into ChatGPT. I was like, can you give me a couple different expressions that I can pull from? And so then I could cut them out, and then I would put them into the character and have different expressions, which was fun. And then I used one of my favorite plugins, Mr. Horse. And Mr. Horse is a really cool After Effects and Premiere Pro extension, and it has all sorts of really cool stuff, and it's got blood, it has sparks, it has just a bunch of 2D stuff, anything you would ever need, and it just adds that little extra fun to the video. So after I had added all the sauce, I just did a couple final touches, adding like a 3D camera to have like these stars pass by the spaceship, and then doing like a little title sequence. And here's the piece. I know you've already seen it, but I think we're gonna watch it again.
I'm excited.
Just get your impressions.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Well, there it is.
It's interesting. It's interesting watching this actually with like the background that you had of I didn't even think about. It's like, okay, like who moves first, the fly or the character? And it's funny. Your solution is elegant. It's nice because it's like yeah, the fly lands and then he sees it. He walks over. He misses it and then goes over there. Then he walks over there. He misses it. And it's nice.
It's fun. It was honestly, it was so fun to look at, and it also was like, man, I spent probably 20 hours making a 30-second thing. I was like,
welcome to animation, huh?
I know. It's like, even with all the like essentially shortcuts, like the AI shortcuts I took, it still took an incredibly long amount of time.
Yeah.
The AI is just for the art for me, because I'm not an artist, like drawing stuff. But then like the artistry of like the story and the animating and stuff is really kind of like what I wanted to focus on.
Yeah.
I had some key takeaways from this, just like playing around with the 2D animation. I mean, I've been working on more of this like series to kind of see and play with more things. The pursuit of learning, like trying to just learn something that you don't know a whole lot about, made me just really excited about it. It felt like I was rediscovering like filmmaking, like a different creative medium for the first time.
Yeah.
Like I remember learning how to like rack focus for the first time for video was like super exciting. It's like, wow, this is so cool. Like childlike wonder of exploring and learning something that I haven't felt in a long time. And it was extremely cathartic. So I kind of wanted to end with the second episode that I did. Just to kind of show even just the jump from episode 1 to episode 2.
Yeah.
And just the trying new techniques and trying new things to make it more exciting, and we'll see what happens in episode 3. But
okay.
Here's episode 2.
Warning, engine failure. Warning, engine failure. Warning, engine failure.
It's kind of fun seeing on the big screen.
Yeah, it is. Looks great.
Welcome back. I will get a table ready.
It's crazy, actually.
The
Now
jump
I'm
is
looking at this.
insane.
The jump is massive. The complexity of episode 2 versus episode 1 is like 10 times.
Yeah. Well, looking back, I'm like, man, I really just wanted to try a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
It was like the first one, it's really only like 2 locations. It's like the exterior shot of the spaceship and the interior. And this one, it's like, okay, we have those 2 shots. We have like crazier momentum too, where it's like he's getting launched out of the chair.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Launched out of the chair, and then we finally used the walk cycle I made, because I didn't even end up using the walk cycle in the first animation where he's walking through, and it's like way too long.
Yeah.
It's like, and he's in this like massive spaceship.
You really want people to see the walk cycle,
but I was like,
though?
the walk cycle. I worked my butt off for the walk cycle, figuring out how to like replace his arm once his arm gets ripped off, and leaving the other arm there. It probably took me the same amount of time to do this episode as I did the first episode.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't have to learn as much stuff.
Yes.
I was like, okay, I still had to figure out some things, but
Yeah.
it was way easier.
I love just, the episodes that you've made, that they feel like cohesive with this like overarching weird story and idea. And what's awesome is, again, it's just like so collaborative in it's like, I'm so glad to see him appear in a different medium. Like in a
Yeah,
different
I mean,
form.
for you, like, what is it like watching him like walk across the screen
it's
for like
fun.
the first time?
It's fun because it's like there's like an essence of him in every one of these little projects, and it's just like it's interesting to see him come to light in a different way.
Clearly, there's something special. If when you first drew, it was like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And there's still stuff happening.
Yeah,
Like, who knows where it'll be next?
Who
but
knows? Who knows? And if
maybe
anybody
an
has
action figure.
a good name for him, please
Please leave it down below.
Please let us know, because I do not know what to name him. I'm struggling so hard with that.
So follow your creative rabbit hole. Go make something.
Yeah.
I'm Jordan.
I'm Garrett.
And this is the Offline Media Podcast. Boom.
Nice, dude.
Sweet.